Hey, you might want to look in the chapters in the description because this does go on long. I'm going to talk about every single skin I bought like throughout all of 2025, and I'm going to kind of review it. It does go on long, so look at the description, chapters there, and enjoy the video. Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're alright, because it's time to review the things I actually bought straight for the Rust store throughout all of 2025. So, of course, recently you might have seen the nice progress all the way through from November all the way through to the middle of January time. I sold a lot of skins and I did raise quite a lot of funds. But of course, some of the skins I might have sold potentially might have been things I straight up bought from the Rust store. So, of course, with every single week, typically we do abnormal barders. I always like to sit here, do the barders first, and then, of course, afterwards we look and review if the skin's actually looking to be like viable to retain its value and whatnot. We jump in, we typically buy skins then after that. Or most of the time, just stick with the barder, being truthful. So, if I could just switch back over to here. Yes, right now, I sit here on the 23rd of January, yes, of 2026, and I'm still selling skins. Still getting those funds up. In fact, if I refresh here, does the number go up? It does, quite a bit. Lovely. So, prices are still kind of pretty good at the moment. But I'm not here to talk about post-Christmas. No. As I said, I'm here to talk about how I progressed. I don't know how to pronounce that. How I progressed through the year. Which one do you prefer? Basically, I'm going to go through every single Rust store, talk about if I actually bought anything, and talk about if I actually managed to make any profit. In certain instances, it might have been better to sell during the summer of 2025 instead of post-Christmas 2026. Maybe I haven't even sold it all. So, let's sit, relax, and laugh at Hedge if he made any mistakes. So, the very first Rust store of the year for 2025, and let's just open up the notepad. Now, before you complain, this isn't the worst thing you've seen in a notepad this week, right? So, all good. Right, anyway, so, my direct Rust store purchases for 2025. Have you been doing this yourself as well? Have you been keeping track of all the things you bought over the past year? If you haven't, doesn't hurt to start now. I'll talk about that in a bit, don't you worry. In a bit, God, Hedge, it might be going on for about half an hour. So, early last year, post-Christmas as well, of course. Every January is post-Christmas. And of course, it's a spectacular time to sell your skins. But as we always mention, if you're selling tons upon tons upon tons of Rust skins, at some point, you will fill up your account and you will have to buy things. Now, I will sit here and say I've had a fun time buying some things as of recent. But specifically, when we see the first few Rust stores in January time, we honestly do sit down and start questioning, you know what, maybe it isn't too bad to consider buying some of these skins. And I did say exactly that when I looked at this Rust store right here. So, of course, with the very first Rust store for 2025, oh, look, Mystic Tree Garage store. I probably should have bought some of them. The Rust skin of the year for 2025, based on my community's vote, an exquisite skin, but I didn't buy any of those, no. I sat here and I said, you know what? What tends to be the most reliable thing to chase after with a normal Rust store? Hammers. Hammers don't really rise up in price that much. They don't really go down in price that much. We don't see too many of them being accepted, so they always tend to work out quite all right. Well then, as I said, I looked at that hammer and I thought, you know what? I'll go buy 150 of them. And so let's switch over to here because they were priced at $2 each. Let's just see how they progressed over the past year. So, of course, we look over to here. Right now, it sits at what price? Let's just see. So, with Steam Inventory Helper, I can see more listings. I can change the currency and whatnot. That's a Chrome extension, by the way. And as you can see, $2.44, only 21 listed. With the recent prices we've seen for this skin, as we've gone through January 2026, it's actually been bought out quite a fair bit. It's actually doing very nicely for itself. And I have actually managed to sell a few. But currently right now, if I were to go ahead and search for Harbour Seal, let's go see for ourselves, I still have 150. So you might sit there and say, Hedge, what on earth happened? Well, I've sold all the ones I managed to buy with a buy order. Oh, okay, fair enough. So I did manage to put down a buy order at a decent price. I believe I went all the way up to like $1.50. So somehow I've managed to pick up a decent amount. Again, over the past 2025, we've had the Easter dip. We had the weird dip that happened in June time. We also, of course, had the autumn fall seasonal dip. And October 2025 was a very bad time to go through. Oh, yes. Oh. So, all right, back over to here then. So looking at this Rust store, as I said, I would do my barders first and then I'll look at all the skins. But I don't remember. I believe this was just a regular skin. So I had that much confidence in hammers. So back over to here, I can confirm fairly recently, I have been selling some of these skins. And to be honest with you, I have sold them at a cheaper price compared to another price I sold them for. So I've been selling them for around $2.40, but I did sell a few at like $2.30. So basically, I just got my funds back. But considering I only sold the ones I bought with bar orders, those were actually profit, because of course I did the $1.50 bar order. So I made profit with the bar orders, but I haven't actually sold any yet. So I kind of thought to myself, I don't think we'll be seeing that many more hammers, you know, this year perhaps. And then, of course, we did see that ruby one. So I am still trying to sell them. I have actually sold like 40 so far. So, you know, I don't want to flood the market. I want to sell reasonably. I want to make sure I get good profit, you know, in return. But from $2 to $2.40, after tax, you're only making like 10 cents profit. But the way I thought about it was, I just need to spend something that will reliably retain its value. And in the future, if I sell it back, I can get those funds back. And right now, I can do that. So, Harbour Seal Hammer, honestly, you were fine. If I really want to commit to it and try and get some more sales in, I wouldn't be upset. Profit is profit. But more specifically, I wanted to treat that like a bond, right? Put those funds away, let it settle, let it just, you know, be in the background for a long time. And when the time is right, when it's the best time to sell your skins again, of course, I can sell them now, get those funds, and put them towards other new interesting things. So, all right, that worked out perfectly fine. I'm not upset with that. And so, we move on to the next Rust store. So, January 9, 2025, what do we see? Oh my. Ramen Largewood Box and Baby Hippo Rock. So, I was quite surprised to see these designs being accepted. Now, let me give you some context. The Neon Nightlife collection skins, they were very nice. During 2024, this garage door sold quite nicely. In fact, quite a lot, 27,000 subscribers. Wilgem decides to use it. And suddenly everybody wants to use it. But then, at a later time, we also happened to see the Sheep Matador. That spiked in price even higher. And whilst we did see attempts to continue it, unfortunately, we didn't see any until, well, January 2025. The large box is accepted. Now, I thought, oh, surely, after about half a year, we're suddenly going to start seeing more of these ramen-style skins, Neon Nightlife skins. You get the idea. And I was seeing them. There's like a Sheep Matador on the workshop and whatnot. So I was feeling pretty confident. I was really feeling like things were going to work out perfectly fine. Well, I can confirm to you throughout the past year, it's just been down in price. Let's just get a quick look at you. So right now, basically $2. Scroll. And whilst you have been improving recently, you have been down pretty bad as of recent. So more specifically, as we went through October time, it suffered. But this past summer, it was basically $2+, but still below its Rust price slightly. Unfortunately, with the lack of a collection continuation, I mean, are we honestly that surprised? So I do hope for a day to see, you know, more of this collection and whatnot. It's just, yeah, that didn't really work out. But remember, my thoughts were I need to spend some funds so I can continue selling my Rust skins back then. I wasn't too upset. I lived with it, so, all right, understood. But of course, I also looked at the Baby Hippo Rock, and I thought to myself, yeah, I could go grab some Baby Hippo Rocks. They look cute, they look silly, and honestly, it was fairly unique at that time. But what happened as we went through 2025 was we kept seeing some goofy, silly animal face sort of designs for rocks, and, well, that was no longer that special anymore, was it? Not really. So if I could just quickly go over to here and look for hippos, I will showcase to you that, yep, I happen to own 90 of these because I did pick up a bunch of them with a bar order. I also happen to own quite a lot of the Ramen large boxes, 146, again, because I put the bar order down. So 50 straight for the Rust each, but I ended up getting a lot more of them with bar orders. So I don't actually remember how much I actually offered for them. Not right now, I'm sorry to say. But as you can see, I am trying to sell a few. I have actually managed to sell a decent amount. And yet still, I have 90 of them. But as you'll notice, it does go down in price pretty badly as we go through around April time. The Easter dip rises up quite nicely around August time. The nice summer rises, yes. Drops down real bad around October time again. Rises back up for post-Christmas. What's the outlook? I mean, I don't really expect that much. There was many attempts to try and build up a Baby Hippo collection. Didn't really work out, no. 17 have sold in the past 24 hours though, so maybe. Next week's giveaway, maybe. I'm more than happy to give away some skins here and there, but I still have the core 50 I bought, so yeah. Right now, it's the best price it's been in a long time, and yet it's still below its rust price. So, actually, no. I think it is still slightly above its rust price right now. Basically, it's around evens. Yeah, it's basically around evens. So, it took a while to get to this point, even whilst it's January time. So that didn't really work out, no. But again, my thought process was I just need to put some funds away. They haven't dramatically gone down that bad, but, you know, you do want to get some profit, don't you? So, all right, cool. Right then, what's the Twitch drops? I'll talk about that a little bit later. If you go to my Twitter right now, you'll see exactly what's going on, all right? So you're going to have to go to my Twitter. I'm doing a video right now, sir. Right. So, you know what? Why don't we just quickly spoil it? Ta-da! There you go. Right, done. We'll save that for afterwards. Okay, so what did we see next? Well, I can see I bought 50 Ultramarine kilts. I just don't remember when that appeared. So, was it January 16? It was, in fact, January 16. We see the Tier 2 appear for the Ultramarine collection, and even back then, it was a powerhouse. So if I could just get a good look at this collection, right now, only one skin is in the negative. Everything else flourishing. Awesome, amazing. A lot of people, they do like to stand up and say, I don't happen to like this collection. Well, apparently a lot of other people do, so... So, yeah, even back then, I could see it was looking pretty sweet. And of course... I was anticipating. I was expecting hoodie and pants. I thought, you know what? I've got to jump on that. Now, of course, we should also remind everybody, this did actually sell a little bit more compared to the Tier 3. But the Tier 3 felt as if it sold a little bit too much, like too little regardless. Especially for like this collection, it was actually holding up very nicely. So, based on what I see here, yeah, that did work out very nicely. Let's just get a quick look at you. As you'll notice, that right there, it's currently sitting here at just over $3, and the price has been fairly okay for quite some time. Well, it was for a while, and then it went down again. So it comes out, it rises all the way up to about, $3.50, but then it suffers. I don't fully remember what actually caused it to suffer so badly, but yeah, during June of 2025, we did have a very random, strange drop in value. Perhaps this is the period of time where suddenly everybody felt the need to go ahead and buy green clothing and armor. Because, of course, around the middle of April time, during the middle of April, we suddenly found out how ridiculous the jungle update was going to be because we could actually test it out and see what the jungle update looked like. The jungle biome was very impressive, but people desperately felt the need to go ahead and buy a whole bunch of green clothing armor. So that suffered, and it recovered a bit, and it suffered again. And now it's basically matching up to the high point that we had all the way back in April 2025. So actually during April it worked out. But I do believe around that period of time, we did happen to see the hoodie and pants being accepted. And everything was kind of working out very nicely. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, I would sit there and say that this is a positive. I could sell them right now. How many do I happen to own? Let's go ahead and take a look. I do happen to have quite a lot of Ultramarine. And there's the 50 kilts. Just haven't got round to selling them. I do believe I did get a decent amount of them extra with barders. I'm pretty sure I have sold some. So, yep, not looking too bad there. Not going to complain. Holding up ever so nicely, that did turn into a very nice profit. Now, as we go through all of these skins, I should ask, did you happen to buy these as well? Are you happy with the results? So then, of course, after that, we have Lunar New Year. And typically, based on what I've seen in the past, I would always say the Chinese lantern is probably the best thing to chase after. So let's go over to Lunar New Year, part 1. Week 1. And to our surprise, yes, we do happen to see the return of the Dragon Launcher as well. We were anticipating it. It did happen. So, I looked at all the skins and I thought, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if they all go down in price. I thought the Lantern was the better option. Well, it seems, talking about it in this particular instance, probably got a lot of other people curious and jumping into it. Because, unfortunately, it looks like in this particular instance, this is the first time where it really doesn't get anywhere. Which is unfortunate. Yes, right now, it's currently about evens, which you can see, up 5%, but that's not profitable. I bought 50. So I've talked about it many times in the past, but yeah, this isn't working out very well. It gets brought back every single year for every single Lunar New Year Rustor, but now it looks like that's finally caught up to it, and as you can see right there, in the past we have seen it rise up very nicely. Again, just before we saw it. So, December 31, 2024, this rose all the way up to like $5+. Right now, it's sitting here, well, barely half that price. It has barely moved, And, well, let me just show you over the past year. At one point, it was profitable. I could have sold around July time. Could have sold it for about $3.50. But I thought, no, post-Christmas is usually the best time. Nope. Great. So, unfortunately, this looks like a bit of a fail. Did you also happen to buy some Chinese lanterns? I sat there and I said, honestly, the best thing to consider probably would be that. And if you did sell around, you know, July time, okay, you would have been happy. You'd have been good. But I was sitting here saying, December, January time, that should be the best time. Evidently, no. And, I'm a little bit sad about that. Dragon rocket launcher, out of pure curiosity, because just before we had this Lunar New Year rush hour, that was actually pushing up to over $11. Sold for $5.50 the previous year, but people were questioning, well, the year before was the year of the dragon. This right here is the year of the snake. So we thought, surely it won't get brought back, right? It was brought back. So I thought about, you know what? Maybe with post-Christmas next year, which is right now, I thought maybe that could go in the positive. Maybe it could climb back up. Maybe it will never reach again like around $11. But what if it reached up to about 8 or 9? So out of pure curiosity, I jumped in. I did a purchase of 5. But I can't confirm to you, it didn't really do that much. It did rise up a fair bit, and then it kind of went down a bit, and it's still kind of going down. Dramatically drops off. At its lowest, it sits at just about $4. Around August time, it actually sells for over $5, close to $6. Kind of goes down a fair bit. And now we look at you, where you're just basically just below your rush door price, just under $5.50. So, yeah, that didn't really work out very well, did it? No. But I only bought 5, purely out of curiosity. Lesson learned, that wasn't a good idea. And we're about to have Lunar New Year 2026, so keep that in your head. Right then, do you know when the Twitch drops will be out? I just gave you a link, buddy. I just gave you a link. Look. February. Oh, look at that. Ultramarine hoodie and pants appear. So we just basically alluded to that. So let's switch over to February. No, it's this one. February 6th. What's this? Oh, it's Lunar Year. Sorry. Again, SMM's a little bit broken every now and then. So that was the primitive update where we saw a lot of interesting medieval themed skins, but didn't see anything there that I thought I wanted to buy. Valentine skins come out. Didn't really feel like jumping into any of them. That worked out nicely. But February 20, 2025, we see the Ultramarine hoodie and pants. And another hammer. Dang. I just sat there and talked about how the Harbour Steel hammer was surely going to be alright, but then another one appeared literally just the next month. Anyway. Ultramarine collection. We just talked about this. A very in-demand set. We just got the tier 2. We were anticipating, waiting for the hoodie and pants. Boom, next month. Okay. So, of course, we wanted to keep track of what the sale's going to be all right. Was it going to hold up? And as you can see, these ended up actually selling less compared to tier 2, but more than the tier 3. Well, right now, that's sitting there at $3.50, and this is sitting here at just over $6. I think that worked out quite all right. Now, I do believe I've actually sold them, because as you can see here, I do not have any Ultramarine hoodie and pants. I'm not sure if I traded them over to another account or anything, but I'm under the impression I've sold them. So, I'm pretty sure I sold them for a profit. I've sold so many skins recently, and there's a reason why I brought up the fact that I, did the post-Christmas thing. How many sales can I do over the past, 2 months, and how much funds can I raise? I think that kind of got lost in the shuffle somewhere. I do not know where they are, and I'm pretty sure I might have just sold them. You might sit there and say, surely you could remember. You do not realise how many different skins I've sold. But if I have sold around now, post-Christmas time, I am feeling pretty confident I would have sold them for a profit, especially considering, as I quickly look over to here, so let's just quickly grab the link, $6.50. Have you always been that high of a price? Let's just quickly confirm that. So as of recent, you have climbed up very nicely. Even around October time, you're still in the positive at just about $3. Around August time, so just before September here, yep, that was pushing up to $4. Honestly, it's been pretty sweet. Considering we also got the boots and the gloves and whatnot, yeah, it's been pretty good for the Ultramarine collection. But this recent push, blimey, look at that. Seems a lot of people really do appreciate you. So the pants, A-okay, but what about the hoodie? So it says here it's actually $5, but then again, what we just saw a second ago, it looks like it's a bit different. No, you are literally just about $5. Wow, okay. So both the hoodie and pants turned out to be, amazing. So around just about August time, it's sitting here at about $4. Kind of drops off a bit here. It doesn't really change that much, even when there's supposed to be a massive dip. But initially, around May time, this was actually pushing up to like $7. So maybe it might have been better time to sell then. Either way, it's still doing very good right now. So yeah, you could sell this right now and get some sweet, delicious profit. Ultramarine hoodie and pants, you are A-OK. And it looks like I did sell them. So, all right, cool. But, as I've mentioned with the hammer... Oh, I didn't buy the hammer. Really? No, I did. Sorry, I was looking there. I was like, what? I bought 30 medieval hammers. I've also noticed I actually did buy some Valentine skins, so I must have not put that in the right order. Good job, Hedge. Anyway, I saw another hammer, and I thought, you know what? Perhaps with these medieval skins that came out somewhat recently, seeing more medieval style skins being accepted, I was running with the expectation that we could probably see some more. I thought maybe we could see like a collection being built up, which Mr. Himmick did try for. He did make some interesting medieval tools, but lo and behold, they weren't accepted, unfortunately. At the end of the day, hammers are reliable, and well, you can see it here for yourself because all of them went up in price. We don't see that many of them. They're always being used. It's weird how we don't get that many acceptances. Doing A-OK. So, all right, cool. That actually went up in price even higher compared to this. Both sold at $2. I believe this sold just a little bit more compared to the Harbour Seal hammer, or just a little bit less. Actually, let's go back to quickly confirm. So that did 13,600. This did 12,900 almost. Okay, you sold a fair bit less. I'm surprised you've sold so much more. So right now, how many listings? Okay, 45. 10 sold the past 24 hours. So it's not getting as much attention compared to the Harbour Seal. Harbour Seal is getting a lot more sales, but this is holding up its value so much more. I guess with a lack of people listing, it's just doing better. Well, no complaints here. So, yep, that's doing pretty good. And I have managed to sell like 25 of them. I've sold them fairly recently over the course of the past month. So let's just quickly confirm that, yes, right now, I sold a fair bit in the first week of January. I sold a fair bit during the second week of January. The price that you see here is basically like $2.70 to $3. I have made some profit. Was it huge profit? Not really. But was it profit? Yes, it was. So that's all I care about. So, all right, cool. That's all good. But as I said, I made a mistake. I did buy some Valentine skins. Speaking of making a mistake, I saw this furnace and I thought, you know what? I've never seen a pink furnace before. Surely this will be special. Surely people will appreciate this. No. No. So it's a perfectly fine design produced by Nolfa and Jimmy Tedeschi. Looked pretty sweet. Lots of love hearts and whatnot. People did not care. People did not care. So let's just show you its sales history. I believe I bought 50 of these, or was it 20? I think I bought 20 of them, actually. Yeah. So for a very long time, it just kind of sits here around $1. Drops down pretty badly around autumn, fall seasonal dip. But very recently, post-Christmas, it has actually managed to kind of gain some traction. And right now, I can confirm to you it's about $1.20 to $1.30. What price did you sell for again? Let's just quickly confirm. $1.49. So this has not recovered. This was a bad thing. I've made a loss. Is it a tremendously bad loss? No, not really. Have we seen any furnace come out that looks exactly like that? No, not really. No, it's very unique. Stands out. Nice pink design. But I guess people don't care about pink furnaces. So I judged wrong. Whoops. So that was unfortunate. But what about the other things I bought? For you see, we saw the first fridge of all of 2025 being submitted and accepted. It is the lovely balloon cart. Now, we're actually fairly close to Valentine's 2026, and I can confirm to you we do have a sequel potentially on the horizon. But lovely balloon cart, honestly, at $2, I thought, with all the transparency we have here, this is a very unique, very interesting look at the design. Surely we're not going to see any other fridges being accepted that much this year, much like hammers and whatnot. Because yes, before, they used to be quite a rare sight to see. But not in 2025, because of course, eventually what we had was a special update to make fridges a lot more useful. They keep food refrigerated and cold, and they don't rot now. Because rot never really happened before with food in the past. And so that, Face Punch just kept accepting more and more and more, and Skin Creators kept producing more and more and more, and now we see a lot of fridges being accepted. So far in 2026, though, we have yet to see a fridge being accepted, but in 2025, we saw a ridiculous amount being accepted, 20 in total, and I believe we've only got like 38 in total, like actual overall skins, so let's just quickly confirm that. Yeah, we have 36 in total, and 20 were accepted in 2025. So, yeah, that's quite absurd, isn't it? Yep. Uh-oh. So that didn't work out very nicely, no. Well, that's a shame, but hey, if we do happen to see the sequel, and keep an eye out for those Valentine skins that are appearing over the past weekend, this weekend, I should say, we do happen to see a locker. I should have kept my rose petals rug. I actually bought a couple for some prizes, and I didn't have to give away so many. Seems some people didn't request that much of them, and they've actually worked out very nicely. You are correct to say that, Mr. Descry. That pink backpack, very unique, very colourful, and yeah, it worked out. Too much surprise, that's doing very good, but I feel like that's a manipulation, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that was Valentine's. Let's now talk about March. Oh, no, at the very end of the month. Oh, Hedge, you're doing too fast. You're moving too fast. So, we happened to see Barbarian hoodie and pants, and I thought this looked amazing. So, if I can recall, didn't we have the jacket first? Yes, we did. Jacket came out first. Looked alright. An interesting medieval themed skin, primitive skin. Cool. But then we got the hoodie and pants, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. See, these same skin creators, they actually made a set called Heavy Night, and that actually started off with a very interesting looking jacket initially. Where's the jacket? Damascus was before. There you go. Heavy Night jacket. Then we got the hoodie and pants, then the tier 3, then the boots and gloves, and it actually for a while was looking very, very good. So I was kind of expecting the exact same thing to happen here. Jacket first, hoodie and pants, tier 3, boots and gloves, maybe some tier 2, we'll see. So I was hopeful. I was expecting it to happen. But it didn't happen. No. And you're correct, Descry. Mr. Multi-Hat, Hat Boris, and Mr. Damn did make some very cool looking skins. And they made some very cool looking Barbarian sequels. But it didn't happen. So if I could just quickly show the collection, many attempts. I even personally asked them, hey, could you try again? No, Face Punch does not want. I'm not sure what they can do, but Face Punch just didn't want it. So whilst I kept seeing the attempts being made, and whilst I kept sitting here being super hopeful, it didn't happen. But I will hand it to them. They have done a very good job retaining their value. Both of them sold at $1.49. Both of them have actually done quite nicely. Now, they have been slowly trending downwards, but quite literally slowly. And then as of recent, they've been rising back up again. It needs tier 2 and tier 3. It's very likely just going to stay being like this forever. Slowly going down, goes up during good times, goes back to slowly going down. So, how unfortunate, but yeah. I was hopeful. I had expectations. Didn't happen. Right then, let's move on to March time. So, March 2025. Revolver. I love revolvers. Revolvers are very, very reliable skins. Revolvers, they always tend to work out wonderfully. We don't see many of them being accepted. They're always being used. People don't cry when they're gone, but they love it when they have them, in the early game and whatnot. So initially, that looked superb, amazing. Guess how many I bought? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So I went ahead and bought 100 of them. I do believe I actually bought another 100, because at some point I did have 200 of these. I guess I just never recorded it. Whoops. Anyway, I bought a lot of them. I felt very confident with them. They were selling for $2 each, and I can't... Wait, was it $2 or $2.49? It was $2.49. I can't confirm to you. As of recent, they have been pushing up to $3.50, and I've sold them, a lot of them, for $3.50. I only have about 50 left. I've been selling, but I will come clean to you. I actually sold quite a lot of them at about $3.20. See, again, at the end of the day, if it's profit, it's profit. And considering what we saw appear after this, we saw some other revolvers, I will put my hands up and say, okay, if people want revolvers, they're probably going to want these too. So I thought, you know what, maybe I should get some sales in with these, grab the profit whilst I still can. Again, I still expect it to stay in the positive, but the price we see now might not be forever. So with my better judgment, I decided that I should sell. So I have sold about 150 of these between $3.20 to $3.50-ish. And yes, this is holding up very nicely. It has been very, very reliable. So does it look like it's been struggling or suffering? No, not really. It's had some ups, goes down a bit, but still basically is retaining its value. Wow, you rose up very nicely around November time, and I don't know why. But that's, of course, you can see it drop off again, and it rises back up again. So, been very reliable, sells nicely, 56 sold in the past 24 hours. Like, people want it, people like it, people appreciate it. Black Ops collection as a whole, honestly, you've been pretty interesting. With how it's progressed and whatnot, yeah, but I knew for a fact that would be doing a very good job. So, cool. Revolvers, here's hoping you remain being, nice and reliable in the future. Next up, what do we happen to see? We have Ultramarine gloves. So, another situation where I wait till the end of the week, the end of the 7-day tenure at the restaurant, and I looked at those gloves and I thought, yeah, I've got to jump onto them. So, of course, we've already talked about how we had the tier 2, the hoodie and pants. Well, I looked at the gloves and I realised gloves that are part of a complete collection, they tend to work out very nicely. Yes, they could sell a bit more compared to the other skins, but considering the whole collection's doing good, and still is doing good, which you can clearly see, and considering the majority of Roadsign gloves that are part of, like, full collections tend to work, they just tend to work out wonderfully, I was like, yeah, I probably should go ahead and grab some. And I did. And they're doing perfectly fine right now. Not a huge, massive profit, but $1 to $1.40 is all right with me. So I bought 30 of them. I was kind of hoping that would rise up even higher. And let's just quickly show the sales history. And, well, it's been retaining very nicely. It rose up very nicely recently. I mean, I'm not going to complain with how that's turned out. But again, you're going to sit there and say, it only went up by like 40%. That's still good. It's still profit. I'm all good with that. And if I go over to here and if I search for Ultramarine, ta-da, I bought 30. I picked up more of a Boulder. Well, I managed to pick some up with the Boulders. So, yeah. All right. So overall, not going to complain about that. And sales, 26 in the past 24 hours. It's been doing good. Ultramarine as a whole has been doing very nicely. Sorry about that. My ears are starting to hurt for some reason. Have yours started to hurt with all this rambling? All right, so moving on, we now can see a very interesting Fallen hoodie and pants. So, when I first saw this, instantly in my mind, I was like, you know what? Could this be considered as a nice budget desert camouflage? Now, you might know about a video that I recorded somewhat recently. In fact, let's hop over to here. Let's go take a look. Somewhat recently, I uploaded a video. That was the budget camo skins for 2026. I uploaded it like 2 weeks ago. It's slowly gaining traction. More viewership is slowly starting to appear. But as you can see, front and to the right, I was about to say front and center. Yeah, right there. The armor you see, but I am using the hoodie and pants. There have been some issues with the Fallen collection, namely the red blood that you see. From a distance, unfortunately, you can see the red. Not too much with the hoodie, but it is quite prominent with the pants. And this has always been a bit of a problem. But if you were to go ahead and look at the Desert Raiders collection, which I will do right now, you'll see for yourself that the Desert Raiders collection is not getting any cheaper. And other things that are reasonably cheap in comparison to this for desert camouflage have also been bought out. Prices are rising in general. This is just getting more and more ridiculous. So I looked at that and I honestly thought, if you were going to be if you're going to consider it as a serious budget option, it's not too bad. Well, I can confirm to you it was not appreciated for a very long time. So right now, this is perking back up and going back up to its restore price. But this got real cheap at one point, sitting there at about 40 to 50 cents USD. And I'm sure a lot of you would know that that is cheap. And the pants, like I said, it's even harder to try and cover that. You can't cover it. The red is quite noticeable from a distance. This has been struggling more compared to the hoodie. And right now, whilst it's kind of getting close to $1, at its worst, again, it's about 40 to 50 cents. Will you actually recover? We shall see. Again, I do showcase them in the video, that special budget video, but maybe for just a few pennies more, you could consider buying something else, maybe. So, yeah. So for what that is, look cool. I did jump in and buy a bunch of Fallen skins. I respected them for what they were, and I've managed to pick up even more of a Boulder. Well, at the end of the day, it could end up like military hoodie and pants. Have you seen military hoodie and pants? They're not getting any cheaper. A long time ago, they came out in a complete the sets rush store. They sold far too much in comparison to the tier 2 and the tier 3. But as time went on, well, that's sitting here at $4+. And the hoodie, how are you currently holding up? Where is that hoodie? The hoodie, at one point selling for about 50 cents USD on the Steam market, it now sits here at just over $5. It's 10 times its price. Because in terms of options that work somewhat nicely in the desert, we don't really have that many options. So perhaps my Fallen hoodie and pants might not be superb at the moment. Give it time. I wouldn't be surprised if they do eventually rise up even further. Again, whilst we did see collection continuations and whatnot, where's the tier 3? Skin Creator did try twice. Unfortunately, didn't happen. So, Maybe at some point in the future. Maybe I complete the sets. Fingers crossed. But look at all the other skins here. Do you notice something? So, yeah, cool. Right then, so that was all nice. Let's go ahead and look at the next week and consider what we have over to here. So, we had a late roster rotation. I remember exactly what happened here. So, it's not this roster, is it? No. So, we move on. We take a look at this roster. It's not this roster either. No. So, we move on. At the very end of the month, this roster, this appeared super late. So, if you understand that typically, based around UK time, again, Face Punch is based in the UK, we tend to see a roster rotate between like 8 to 10 p.m. in the UK. That's somewhat normal. This appeared at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was super late. But take this into consideration. The next roster was going to be a force wipe. Oh. So super late to start, and it's going to end somewhat early. These skins, in theory, were only going to be in the store for about 6.5 days. Does a half day really make that much of a difference? But also the fact that it was going to be like, it was going to be ending early, considering the next roster, the next update was going to happen, and then, you know, force wipe rustors tend to be real early. They can be pretty ridiculous how early they can be. It's not as if a lot of people could wait till the last second and actually make a move. So that right there, that's Sakura AK-47. Out of pure curiosity, after we did the abnormal barders, I was like, I'll just buy 10. It's a pink AK-47 with an anime style to it. So, in the past, I remember the Kiss AK-47. I remember how that's risen up in price ever so nicely. I expected that to do the exact same. I can confirm to you it's basically done the exact same. So if I could just go over to here, Kiss AK-47, I'll just type in Kiss, that's all you need to do. Yeah, that's sitting there at just over $11 at the moment. So that went up even higher. But of course, this right here, the cheaper option, but still just as nice. Not too far away from it. It's catching up. So that worked out quite nicely. Yeah, I only bought 10. I hoped I could probably pick up some with a barder. I have picked up just a few. But honestly, I should have bought some more. I was not sure if everything was going to be fine, but evidently, yeah. What I did buy quite a lot of, though, was the Gunhouse sheet metal double door. I thought at $3, and with its design, I thought it'd be alright. I thought it'd be a-okay. But to my surprise right now, people are not appreciating it as sheet metal double door skins not being appreciated. What? As you'll notice, the majority of these are in the green. The majority of these are doing good. They're in the positive, but not that one, surprisingly. Huh. Even most of the last years are doing A-okay. I'm not sure what went wrong with this. Like, what, really? I was rolling with the expectation that this was going to be A-okay, like most of the previous sheet metal double doors from the previous year. I don't know what went wrong. I still do not know what went wrong. Shrug. I'm actually clueless in this particular instance. Skin Creator did try to get some sequels made and whatnot, but I've seen like totally unique sheet metal double doors come out, and then they don't get any sequels, and they still work out alright. What did this do wrong? It glows in the dark quite nicely and whatnot, but no, it's not appreciated. Okay, well, that's not good. That's not good at all. But yeah, I can show you right now. With barders, I did manage to buy a whole bunch of them as well. Yeah. So I only bought 30. Right now I have 55. Now I'll wait a little bit longer. I hope to see this rise back up in price eventually, but will it actually happen? We'll see. Someone dumped 300 of them on Steam at one point. Really? I didn't notice that. I don't remember that. So thank you for remembering. This is why I stream. Well, we had that guy earlier who kept asking about the Twitch drops, but don't worry. I'll live. Right then. So whilst I'm here, I should also point out Sakura. Yep, I've got one left. I thought I should keep one at least for myself. So I did manage to sell a bunch of them. But I actually sold most of mine for around $6 each. So, yeah. Oh dear. So anyway, moving on. We also happen to have tire kilt, vest, and helmet. Another blackout option has appeared. Alternative blackout option, I should clarify. And it wasn't too reflective. It was a bit odd though, because with the tire collection, it actually started off as a primitive set. Ta-da! But now we're dabbling into tier 2. And potentially hoodie and pants and tier 3 and whatnot. Okay, I mean, many other blackout alternative options that have appeared. Sazabay, shh, bad omens. Well, many of the other blackout alternatives that have appeared in the past actually did A-okay, perfectly fine. So I was like, well, surely this could as well. I'm made of rubber, ha! So, yeah, we did see some progress, we did see some success, but was it honestly like a massive, huge success? A bit debatable. Anyway, so let's just take a look at the kilt. Typically of tier 2 armor, the Roadsign kilt ends up usually being the most expensive. It's the only leg armor that we have. So if I could just show you its sales history, yeah, it did have a pretty bad October time. So it was doing quite all right with the acceptances, with the sequels and whatnot. Like at one point, this kilt was selling for $4, but then it goes down. At its worst, it sits here at about $1.30 to $1.40. And then after that, post Christmas, it has managed to reach back up to its restore price again, but I am not going to sell. So if I could just quickly go to the tire collection. Tire. How many kilts do I have? 40. I guess I must... Oh, yeah, looks like I sold 10 of them then. I just don't remember when I sold them. Sorry to say. I hope I sold them for a profit, and I tend to be quite stubborn. I usually refuse to sell skin unless I can sell it for a profit. So I must have done that. I just don't know. I just don't remember when. If it was recently, okay, that might be a bit of a problem. That wouldn't have been a profit. But if I did sell when we first initially saw like the hoodie and pants and the boots and the gloves being accepted, okay, that would be different. So, okay, now just to quickly confirm, we did get boots and gloves right. I do recall we got gloves, but did we actually get boots? Let's just confirm. So yeah, we did get boots and gloves. All right, cool. And if I could just scroll down, oh no, we're missing something. We are missing fish bucket. I don't fully remember when I first wrote this out, because clearly I haven't been doing it in order. But anyway, fish bucket. The first bucket helmet skin to be accepted in a very, very long time. Part of the well-established fish collection. People are appreciating this. People do be liking it. I thought, you know what? Surely that'll be all right. Like, we got the standard green bandana with it. It looked okay. But then, lo and behold, next week we saw the fish bandana being made and accepted immediately. So, okay. That's a pretty interesting looking combination. But do you honestly need a fish? Like, do you honestly need a bucket helmet at all? How often have you, the viewer, actually used a bucket helmet and then bothered to skin it? Well, there you go. So I guess that's partly the reason why it's just not looking very pretty at the moment. But, of course, as we went through April time, with anticipation to the jungle update, I can confirm to you, well, this is actually the end of March. Seems nobody actually cared about you. That's a surprise. Huh. So it's just been a slow downward trend every time I make one for the... All right. But yeah, no, that didn't... Whilst it hasn't dramatically crashed and burned, it has been a slow downward trend. It has not been appreciated enough to keep its price up. Oh dear. I guess that initial rise that we saw was when we saw the bandana. I believe that was the case. Should have sold then. So we'll see how it progresses from here and now. But I'm not going to sell my buckets. I'm not going to sell them anytime soon. I'll hold on to them. I'll keep a hold of them, and I will hope that everything works out. So to my surprise, during all of April 2025, I didn't buy anything. Okay, well, fair enough. Moving on to May. So, was that May 4 swipe? Let's confirm that right now. Scroll. May 4 swipe. No, I did not buy anything. There were some interesting things. There was some ponchos and whatnot from the Reptile Hunter collection. Let's just clarify. Did you buy anything, Hedge? No, I didn't trust it. I fully expected that to go down in price. I expected some issues because they sold a little bit too much. So that May 4 swipe Rustor, the introduction of the jungle update and whatnot with the first jungle themed Rustor, yeah, that was not looking pretty. And right now, whilst it's still technically post-Christmas, all of these skins except this, yep, just that one poncho, they're all in the negative. So I thought correct, cool. May 8th, 2025. So I'm looking at these skins and I'm remembering, right? I'm remembering. Did I buy anything here? So doesn't look like it. Nope. And I tell you what, I probably should have bought that AK-47, shouldn't I? I should have done that, but I didn't. Whoopsie. But with buy orders, I definitely picked up a bunch of those Jungle Tomb sleeping bags. I haven't sold them until recently, and to my surprise, that's been pushing up very nicely as of recent. Did someone use it in a YouTube video? Was it Wilgem? Feel free to comment below, but that has been going up in price pretty absurdly as of recent, so cool. May 15. Right. Ooh, tyre collection. Did I buy tyre skins? Well, I can't confirm. Looks like I didn't, but I can't confirm I did buy a Heat Seeker SAR. I bought 10 Heat Seeker SARs. I looked at it, I realised the transparency in it was absolutely ridiculous. It was even better in comparison to the Imp SAR. Like just before we had Heat Seeker SAR appear, Imp SAR was pushing up to about $50 USD. It's not that price anymore, is it? No. So this was phenomenal. This was interesting. Heat Seeker Summer was just getting started. Although, quite a short period of time after this, we had the Bellum Twitch drops, the Spanish event. And was it? I can't remember fully. We can quickly check here. SMM does acknowledge the Twitch drops as well. Silipher SAR, yes. So a month later, Silipher got a SAR with the exact same amount of transparency. And suddenly, Heat Seeker SAR suffered. So let's just show you how it turned out, because of course we did see sequels that appeared after this with some very cool looking transparent aim sights. Heat Seeker Summer was a phenomenon in which we saw all of these weapon skins actually going up in price very, very nicely. Right now, as you can see right here, it says it's currently listed. What price? What's the price right now? $6.50. I could see the writing on the wall when we saw the Twitch drop appear, and I actually managed to go ahead and sell mine for about $8. I sold mine for about $8 each. I walked away with the profit because, again, sold for $3, sold mine for $8. Considering tax, I must have done about $7 each. That was all good because look what happened next. As we went through June time, it suffered, it cratered, it went down. All the way down to $4. But then, as we went through like August time, it rose back up again, it got all the way up to $7, goes down in price again around October, reaches a new low point, and as of recent, during post-Christmas, rose up very nicely. But a certain Hellcore SAR appears, and goes down again. But give it time. With more Heat Seeker weapons expected to be accepted as time goes on, I wouldn't be surprised if it casually goes back up again. I feel like people appreciate the collection itself more so than with all the transparency. But the transparency is a nice bonus. So Heat Seeker Summer, what a wonderful time it was. And yeah, I only bought 10. So, all right, cool. I was kind of questioning like the sales it had, if you're wondering. So that's why I only bought 10. But looking at all the other skins, I didn't buy anything here. Let's go to May 22. What do we see? Oh, look. Deep Ruby collection. So early in the year, we saw the Deep Ruby AK. Then we got all these other weapons and tools and whatnot. And then I see the tier 2. And by default, I'm sitting here thinking, well, this is a pretty absurd, silly looking design. Surely we'll see some sequels. Again, considering all the acceptance we saw, I thought it honestly was going to happen. I went ahead and I actually bought 50 of these Deep Ruby kilts. I bought 50 of them and I hope for the best. Well, as of recent, I can confirm Deep Ruby, like, throughout the past year, just keeps getting skins accepted. Like, it has progressed quite nicely. In terms of, has this actually managed to recover? Right now, it's in the negative, ever so slightly. But I can confirm to you, as of recent, it did actually get back up to its Rustore price. But I bought them for its Rustore price. If I had to sell them right now, I wouldn't get a profit. If I sold them like 2 weeks ago, I still wouldn't make a profit. So, yeah. Another thing, which is still waiting for the tier 3 to appear. If we could just go over to here. Deep Ruby. Yep, I've got 75 kilts, 76 kilts. Because, again, I also did a barter. Typical. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but I was optimistic. Just didn't work out very nicely, unfortunately. So, yeah, even with only 8,500 sales, it's in the negative. Here's hoping things work out nicely as time goes on. So, all right, cool. You might be surprised I avoided the Heatseeker MP5, but considering that did 65,000 subscribers, yeah, I didn't want to go near it. Right then, so, May 29. I know I bought Tire hoodie and pants. I just don't know when they appeared. Where are the Tire hoodie and pants? When did they appear? Hedge, do you know when you bought skins? When did they appear? Did I get the dates wrong? They were April. Oh, dear. All right, well, looks like I put them in the wrong position. Did I only do this, like, later on? Oh, dear. Again, because it was the very last Rustore, that's what happened. Right, well, let's talk about them now. It doesn't hurt to talk about them now. So, Tire hoodie and pants. Well, I was being optimistic. Tire collection was progressing very nicely. As time went on, we did see the Roadsign gloves and the boots and the jacket. But what we wanted most was tier 3 armor. That's what we wanted most. We wanted to have pretty much a complete set, you know, hoodie and pants tier 2, tier 3. But yeah, problems. Tier 2 came out. On average, it did about 8 to 9,000 subscribers. Hoodie and pants, they come out just over 10,000 subscribers. There's basically like a 1,000 difference. Did it really matter? Well, with the lack of a continuation, it did improve in certain instances, but it didn't really. We wanted tier 3. And if I could just show you down here, look at all the tier 3 instances. Look at the attempts. Recently, we did see a third attempt. So that wasn't fun. No, it was not. But I do recall when we saw the boots, the gloves, and the jacket, it did have its moments where it spiked. So look at the hoodie. Yeah, it kind of bumps up a bit here and there. So in May, when we saw the Roadsign gloves and the boots, it went all the way up to $3 to $3.50. But then after that, it's just been stagnant. As of recent, it's been climbing up a bit, but still overall, it's like next to nothing, isn't it? And the pants, basically the same thing, but just better. So, yep, get a good look at this. Yeah. Spike them on, spike price. We see the boots, the gloves. And then we go over to here. Look at the tire collection again. Do you see any hoodie and pants? Yes, you do. 100 tire pants. And where's the hoodies? 88. Ooh, oh dear. But then again, with bilders, I definitely would have offered less. And I know for a fact that these are actually profitable. So, okay. You might sit and say, well, those are some strange numbers that you have with them. Yeah, it's because I've sold some. Well, there you go. These past few weeks, I have been selling some tie, hoodie, and pants. No regrets, but if I do see tier 3, I might cry. Hey, you never know. You never know. So, all right, cool. Sorry about the mistake there. So now as we go to May 29, or is it June 5? Wow, Hedge, you cannot find the things that you bought. This isn't looking good. It really isn't. Because I am looking for the armored double door. It does appear halfway through May 15. There you go. Armored double doors, they are a rare sight to see. And basically, I was rolling with the expectation with this very interesting approach with the somewhat camouflage green design, the flowers in the front and whatnot. I thought people would appreciate that. I do believe this also has like transparency in the hatch. And yes, it does. So I was optimistic. I was hopeful. A very cool design to be made whilst the jungle update had just come out. I was optimistic. I was hopeful. Nope, didn't work out. Currently, right now, it's sitting here at $1.80. And as you'll see with the sales history, it's just been a slow downward trend. Rises up a fair bit for post-Christmas there. Should I remind you, we actually saw a sequel. We saw the Sheep Matador being accepted after this, but nope. Even with the garage door as well, nope. Didn't budge, didn't move, didn't change. Actually, hang on a minute. When this appeared, it did budge. That's what it wasn't post-Christmas that caused it to rise a bit. It was that. And then when post-Christmas happened, it didn't change. It went back down again. Oh dear. So, if I could go over to here, can I type in container? Well, as you'll notice, I got 121 armor double doors. Because I would have offered like $1.50 for that. And right now, it's like $1.80. Not really profitable. Not really profitable. So, awkward? Yep. Not every single thing is going to be a win, is it? No. But, so far, we have seen more positives in comparison to negatives. So I'm not going to be too upset with that. But, yeah, dang. Even with all the acceptances and whatnot, it hasn't really worked out. So this is one of those instances where you have to consider, are people actively skinning these? Are people even using the actual item itself? We just had a nice comment earlier. Betts Parker said, over 9k hours in Rust, and he's never seen or crafted a bucket helmet. Or rather, I think he just said, never once crafted a bucket helmet. So, again, if these players aren't actually using the items itself, that's a problem. So we'll have to remember that as we progress. So as we go through June 2025, we'll get into the halfway point. 30 black alligator kilts, 20 bamboo cage small boxes, large boxes. Okay. So, we start to see some very interesting looking storages being made. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, well then, never seen anything like that before. And of course, I'm sure you're fully aware of what we are seeing. Again, these are okay, sorry about this. These are positioned so terribly That's supposed to be the very end. Okay, anyway, let's just talk about what we see. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So we have Black Alligator Tier 2. Oh, I know why. Do you know why they're positioned awkwardly? It's because I waited until abnormals. And when was the abnormals? Like 6 or 7 days later. So whilst this might have appeared for May 29, I bought them in the beginning of June. Case closed. But still, it's awkward to navigate with this. Anyway. Black Alligator Tier 2. It appears after Tier 3. Again, another Blackout alternative option starts to brew. Okay. Well, it's not too bad of an option. But during the same period of time that we see this, we're still wondering what's going on with Tire Collection. You know, where's the Tier 3? Face Punch doesn't want to accept it. We saw some boots and gloves. That was nice. But are we going to see more of it? Is it actually complete? Will this collection even complete? Made by Mr. I'm sorry to say, I've actually forgot your name, and you've changed your name to a very funny thing. I can't pronounce that. Anyway, so I was feeling a little unsure. But then again, with the sales that we saw here, sold significantly less compared to these. I thought maybe that actually might work out. Again, all we need is hoodie and pants. Maybe it could work. Well, after doing the abnormal barders, things look pretty solid, so I thought, you know what, I'll jump in, I'll go grab some. Can't confirm to you as of now. With what we see here, this is actually in the positive. It's doing good. People are appreciating it. Again, a lot of the black clothing and armor pieces over the past several years, several years or so, they do eventually work out nicely. People do appreciate them. Not everybody can afford Blackout skins, all right? They're pricey. Powos, we're going through all the skins from the past first. Sorry, mate. So as you can see here, it does rise up quite nicely. We're optimistic. We're hoping to see more of it. Then it goes down real bad around October time. Then it recovers. So I get the feeling perhaps people are looking for some budget options for some black armor, and they probably looked at the kilt, and it's probably a perfectly fine thing. So black backpack of the bed. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but yeah, anyway. So basically, yeah, I did end up buying a bunch of them. Right now it is profitable, but have I actually sold any? Well, we've already shown this off, I believe. Alligator, there you go. So they're not here. Really? I don't have the kilts. I know what happened. I traded them over to another account, and I'm selling them on another account. Because right now, whilst it's positive, whilst it's in the positive, whilst it's profitable, I have been trying to sell them. That's what's happened. So yeah, sorry, I don't have them on me. But I am actively trying to sell them because I am very much under the impression that that collection won't complete itself. If the skin creators now disappeared again, what are you going to do? So, yeah. Then we have Bamboo Cage Small Box. And this was an insane, crazy, strange-looking design. Now, as of recent, you might notice someone made a very special video showcasing this in a very particular build in which you can kind of make it vanish. Also, this is also something that works out quite nicely if you're going to try and hide it in a rock. So this has recently started to gain some traction. People are starting to appreciate it. And yet still, it's down in price. Now, I actually went ahead and bought a bunch of these, but I didn't buy too many. I bought 20. I thought, all right, yeah, 20 is not too much. It should be fine. It should be too much of a problem. But it did crash and burn. Because this also did like 26,000 subscribers. And as you can see, yeah, that didn't go down very well. No. And if I could just quickly hop over to here. As of recent, I have been trying to sell them, but I haven't been selling them for a profit. Yeah. So, just to clarify, for a while, they actually were doing very nicely. I'm just not sure if it actually is acknowledged here. Because they were, like, on average selling for over $2. But I do remember some of them were selling for free. Again, when that video appeared, people were going for, they're going for it. What's his name? Silver Spooks? Something like that. He's a guy that shows some interesting builds. And then he utilized the large box and the small boxes to show that whilst they have their transparency, they're essentially sort of hidden. So you can still access them or whatnot. So, all right, cool. Anyway, so, yeah, this suffered. And at its worst, it went all the way down to like $1.20. Silver Spooks, that's it. Yep. Just wanted to make sure I definitely mentioned his name. So, yeah, that didn't turn out very nicely. And I only bought 20, and yet still, I tried to sell them just to get some funds back. Will you actually fully recover in the future? Well, we know for a fact there was some more transparent small boxes that were made, wasn't there? So, let's now progress. Because then we have the large box. So I can confirm, I think I've actually managed to sell my large boxes. If I can recall, did you actually go on the positive? Because pretty much the exact same thing. I sit here, I look at it, and I think to myself, wow, you could probably put those over the edge of your roof of your base, and you can see through it perfectly fine, and you can like treat it as like a sort of like a bit of a protection, the barricade. Yeah. So once you look down, you can walk over it. I believe it takes like 2 rounds of bullets from an AK-47 to fully destroy that. So, so I thought maybe that could be used in a fun way, an interesting way. Unfortunately, no, it's sitting here at like $1.60. Can we confirm that? Yep, $1.60. Same thing applies though. Silver Spooks makes a video. Lots of people jump onto it. And if you managed to sell during here, you would have made a profit. A lovely bit of profit. But since then, it's been going down. Still better than where it was, where it used to be selling for about 80 cents USD on the Steam market. But yeah, I mean, you kind of would hope for a better outcome. But yeah, didn't really work out that way, unfortunately. And it's not looking very pretty. So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, the bamboo stuff, not looking good. And once we got to the point with the large boxes, I was like, you know what, I don't feel so confident with this set anymore, and I stopped buying them. So we also happen to have this custom SMG. Now, instantly, you might not like notice what's so special about it, but of course, if we could just show you this right here. Oh, it's a custom SMG with a transparent aim sight. Don't see that much, do we? No. I believe this is the first ever instance of this. Comment below if I'm wrong. Sorry about that. But yes, made by Bear Trip, part of his Ruin collection. And again, this is during like the months where loads of people are super hyped up with Jungle. Still, we're seeing green skins getting bought and whatnot. I thought, you know what, this was looking pretty interesting. It sold a reasonable amount. People are talking about it. I thought, why not? I'll jump onto it. So for a while, it doesn't really do that much. It doesn't really, like, do anything. But around October time, there's some sort of changing point. It's about 80 cents USD here, October 13, and it starts to go up. Up. Not sure what caused this. Was it a particular YouTuber of sorts? Maybe a streamer? You tell me. But that is now sitting here comfortably at about $3.50. And do I still own some? Let's go ahead and find out. Ruin. I still have 5. Yes, I sold 5 like 2 weeks ago. So if I could just quickly hop back over to here. What price were you about 2.5 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Well, it looks like you might have been better. So if I go back over to here. Right now it's the 24th. Yeah, I sold them for a profit, but not like a massive profit. It looks like 50 cents profit each. I only sold 5. Relax. So yeah, no, honestly, it's nice to see that it worked out. But I've always sat here and questioned, do people actually appreciate the custom SMG? Well, at some point, you might be forced to use it. So might as well put a cool looking skin on it. Right, so, all right, cool. So, not too bad there. That worked out quite nicely. And then we progress. Not that one. Progress. Oh my. Oh my. Now, I'm just going to spoil you immediately. I never sold mine. And it looks like someone had like a special sort of giveaway of some sort. Someone took one from me. So I haven't actually sold any. Just one got taken for a giveaway. But I can confirm to you, this progressed very, very nicely. Until we saw the Olympus Revolver. Uh-oh. Something with even more transparency compared to this was accepted. Transparency? Yep. The first ever transparent aim sight heat seeker revolver. Revolver was accepted. It is the heat seeker revolver. And, well, I was like you saw earlier, I saw that Black Ops revolver. I was on it. I was sitting there saying, guys, do you understand revolvers? Well, let me tell you, so that worked out very nicely. But this right here, oh, the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. And so, as this progressed, it started to slowly rise up. Kind of drops off a bit as we enter September time. There it goes up. We start to see other weapon skins being accepted. The more the merrier. People were appreciating it. And at one point, this is sitting here at about $9. But then around November time, what happens to appear? The Olympus Revolver. It has even more transparency in comparison. Since then, though, it has managed to climb back up again. And give it time, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back up to $9. People are appreciating the Heatseeker collection. So, again, look at all the green, look at all the positivity. It is very successful. Yes, this might have peaked a few months back, but I do believe as time goes on, even with the Olympus Revolver existing, I do believe that I'll match back up to $9 once again at some point in the future. People are liking it, people are buying it, there's a reason why it's rising back up again. So, okay, that worked out stupendously, but I haven't sold them yet. Yeah, but I'm, expecting it to still be good, yeah. So, yeah, awesome design. 200 right now. If I sold them at this price, well, that might be well over $1,000. Ooh. Now, we should also just quickly point out, how many sales have you done in the past 24 hours? 58. I don't think it'd be too hard to sell them. Cool. And as you might notice, it's still trending upwards. So that's cool. Let's now move on then. So that was a very nice outcome. And I do believe that's it for, June. So now we roll over into July. And a little bit earlier, you might have noticed that a certain Island Assault collection appeared with tier 3 armor. Well, we're starting to notice that. I didn't focus it too much. I wasn't really sure how to approach it. But after a while, we noticed that was going up in price regardless. I saw a post on the subreddit, the Rust subreddit, and some guy was sitting there saying, guys, this is an amazing set. You should look at it. When I first looked at it, I thought, wow, it's like the Henchman set. We're on an evil island and with some madman, some mad scientist, and he's got all these people working for him with all their technical equipment and whatnot. Anyway, the tier 3 went up in price before we even saw a collection continuation being accepted. And then, of course, when we saw the Roadsign gloves being accepted, well, what happened then, Hedge? This went up in price very, very nicely. And, of course, with more skins being accepted, at one point, the face mask was selling for about $30. This was selling for like $22, $23. Point is, they went up in price very nicely, and that looked appealing. And I thought, looking at this, with less subscribers in comparison to these two skins, I thought that was going to work out very nicely. And so I bought 100 of them. And there was also rumours that we're going to see the boots the very next week. Lo and behold, the very next week we saw the boots. So I guess we can now move on and talk about the boots. Ta-da! Yep. And pretty much the same thing. Although I was thinking I was a bit more hesitant with them. So did I still buy boots? I don't remember. Looks like I didn't. I just did a good barter in them. That's what I did. Yep. So I'm remembering now. I'm remembering. Right then, so back over to here. Yes. With this Rust store. Looking at all the skins. I also did buy No Mercy sheet metal double doors as well. Sheet metal double doors tend to be very, very, very reliable. So honestly, this Rust store, a lot of people might have just looked at it and thought, wow, toe boots. Ha ha ha. Oh, sorry about that. But anyway, we also did see another transparent small box there. Uh-oh. These two looked very interesting, and right now can confirm they're still very interesting. See these gloves? When we saw boots being accepted, when we saw the hoodie pants being accepted and the tier 2, oh my, look at that, look at that, look at that. It went up in price very, very nicely. Then it drops off, unfortunately. Island Assault really did suffer as we went through September, October, November time. As of recent, it's doing better, but it's nowhere near to, its high point. During August, these were selling for over $4 right now. At best, it's like $2, like $30, $2.40. It's not really doing super great in terms of where it was before. At 99 cents each, I have been selling some recently. I have been making an exquisite double profit, right? But I'm not upset with that. I'm fine with that. I also bought a bunch of these with a barter as well, and hey, worked out perfectly fine. So cool. And that sheet metal double door right there, I looked at it, I thought, you know what, guys? It doesn't glow in the dark, but it's still got that awesome design that we see in most of the No Mercy skins. All of them, pretty much. I'm thinking it's only the first few that doesn't have the emblem. I don't fully remember, but anyway, looks cool. I'm sure people are still going to appreciate it, regardless with all these Twitch dropped sheet metal double doors being accepted in 2025. And as you can see right there, that has been rising up in price very nicely. Since October, that's essentially doubled in price and more. Yeah. So it didn't look very pretty initially, and then post-Christmas has been phenomenal for you. And yeah, we've still seen some more sheet metal double doors being accepted. Doesn't matter. People are appreciating that specific one. So, alright, cool. They tend to work out very nicely. Right then, so over to here. Looking at the things, can confirm to you, we also happen to see a very interesting crossbow. Where is that crossbow? It's right there. So, another Rust store, another No Mercy skin. Wow. Initially, I'm looking at all of these things. I don't even really question this, by the way. I just thought, oh wow, really? They just made like a basket. Yeah, we've got that. I didn't think much of that. If you know why that is appreciated. But yeah, I looked at this. I remembered the recent Black Ops rocket launcher. I wasn't feeling very confident. Initially, I could see that this was going to sell more than the Roadsign gloves. I wasn't thinking that was going to work out okay. Little did I know. But yeah, let's just quickly hop back over to here. So once again, with Island Assault, as you can see, I've only got 70 gloves left. I bought even more. with like barders and whatnot. As you notice, I did manage to pick up some boots, not tons, but some boots. So Island Assault was a funny one. Let's also go back to No Mercy. I sold so many of the sheet metal double doors, I don't even have any left. I bought quite a decent amount. I sold them all for about $3.50 to $4. So that was great. But that next rush store, I was looking around and something spoke to me. It said, wow, another transparent aim, a transparent crossbow. We should buy tons of them. But at the time, I don't think I had that much. I didn't really have that much funds, considering I was buying a bunch of like Island Assault skins with barders and other things and whatnot. So I looked at this and I thought, oh wow, maybe it might still suffer considering sales, because the best thing to compare to was the cargo heli crossbow, and that had come out years ago. So that ended up with just over 20,000 subscribers. Even then, I thought, you know what, surely it'd be all right. Surely it could still be okay. Yeah, it was wonderful. I have not sold mine though. Stinger crossbow, I bought 30, but then more barders came in. Like for a while, it honestly looked like it might be a bit troublesome. It might be a bit of a problem. I've got about 80 of these in total right now, and I can't confirm to you. Not you. I can't confirm to you. Whilst it did kind of dip a little bit, it's basically been retaining its value. And yeah, it was only like a bit of a slow downward trend. At its worst, it's about $1.60 around October time. Well, now it's doubled in price. And then some. You know, so $4 a piece now. It's looking good. So yeah, am I going to sell now? No, I think I can hold them out for a little bit longer. I look forward to selling them. I just can't help but assume it might be rising up more so. No other crossbows come out with the same amount of transparency since then. It's looking good. I'm happy. I hope I don't regret it. I hope we don't see another transparent crossbow. Please, please, please. So, all right, cool. That crossbow worked out wonderfully. And again, we're not seeing anything else coming out like this. That's awesome. So, we have a very interesting large box skin to discuss. So, kind of reminding you of the thoughts back then, I am still to this day under the impression that the skin creator never actually intended for this to be a storage collection. I think this was just supposed to be a one-off, but I remember when we saw this, we started asking him, hey, can you turn this into a storage collection? We would greatly appreciate it. I'm curious, are we going to see a series of these? Also, here's a short video of it. I liked it. I thought it looked cool. A lot of people agreed. So we're looking at it, we're seeing its interesting style, and we think, you know what? Maybe, finally, after 3 years, we could actually see another storage collection being made. Well, maybe that actually happened. For I'm sure many of you are fully well aware, this turned into the Sinotype storage collection, Sinotype hype, Sinotype hype, Sinotype hype. So, cool. Acceptance, 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 acceptance. This ended up becoming the largest storage collection we've ever seen, specifically storages. More than Neon storage collection, and still potentially one on the way for the naval update. We shall see. Well then, you might think, okay, so with so many acceptances and with so many interesting, neat designs, surely it worked out all right. Well, that's quite a lot of negativity. What's going on? I can confirm to you, with this Firearms large box specifically, this right here at one point reached $30. During the absolute peak of the hype, this went all the way up to $30 at one point. I remember one sale at the very least of $30, then it started to go down pretty quickly. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of movement, and basically, since then, we have had a bit of a drop-off. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I was expecting after like October time, we were going to perk back up. But since around like November time, we have had issues. There's a very particular issue called the Boxes DLC. Now, it was worked on earlier today, so I'm going to go find that real quickly. Boxes DLC, Boxes DLC, where are you? Show me you. Where is the Boxes DLC? Show me, show me, show me, show me. Where is it? All right, now I look silly. Boxes DLC, I assure you, was worked on recently, but I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. For like the past 2 to 3 months, Facepunch has been alluding to working on a project where they're going to make their very own storage collection. Now, to this day, we still do not know. There is. We still do not know what it looks like. We still do not know if it's a small box collection or a large box collection. Palace, I know Control F, but it was on a different page. I wasn't sure what to do. If it's a large box collection and they only sell it for about $20, oh my god. Okay, so let's just point this out. Neon Storage Collection, as you can see over here, all these large boxes altogether, if you were to deduct all of this, you're probably looking at about $250 with just the large boxes. I am not joking. If you were to take a look at the Graffiti Storage Collection, because again, we kept talking about Graffiti Collection, it was the closest collection we had up to this point. Well, that's all doing very nicely. $80 almost at the moment. And, you know, if we actually didn't know about the boxes DLC, I wouldn't be surprised that was going to go over $100, maybe even more. So, this boxes DLC has just been giving us dread and problems and issues. And we still don't know what it is. And we still, yeah, we don't know what to say. So, what I did was, with 66 at one point, because I actually had like a bit more, I had someone dump on me, funnily enough. Yeah, that did happen. Let's go to Sinotype. Firearms, there you go. I've got 5 left. During post-Christmas, I put an effort in to make some sales, and I tried to get at least some funds back. Now, initially, with the buy order that I got, I think I bought an extra 30 of them. Someone just got scared initially, because the night before we have the abnormal barders for all of these skins, we're like, oh, is it actually going to happen? If it happens, oh, we are going to succeed. We're going to make tons of profit. Yeah. But if not, with the amount of sales it got, which was over 30,000, this very likely would crash and burn. One particular individual got scared. He dumped on a lot of people. You fool, you fool. So I remember selling a bunch of these at around $11 each, because I thought, okay, I need to get some funds. It got pretty bad around October time. But it was never as good as the $30. And if you were to go ahead and look at this on the Steam market and look at sales price, you'll notice that it's been going down as of recent. It's been trending downwards more and more and more. I was happy to sell them, 45 of them, right? 45-ish, 50. I sold a bunch of them for around $10 to $11. $10 to $11. Yep, just that. Hey, at the end of the day, it's still a wonderful profit. I'm hoping you would agree. But I could have sold them for $30 each, or at least 20 plus, you know, during the hype. I honestly thought everything was going to work out wonderfully initially. But that box's DLC, I mean, regardless without it, chances are some of those skins probably would still be struggling and suffering. But that box's DLC, it's a constant problem that we're worried about. Scrap, stone, ammo, explosive. I've also been mentions of like sulfur, meds, you name it. Lots of lots to look forward to, right? So if we do see that happen, if Face Punch does turn around and produce their very own large box set, all the large storage skins are likely going to struggle and suffer. And oh no. So, yeah, I took the gamble, the risk, and I said, you know what, I'll sell them now. At least I made a profit. And you know what? I'll move on with my life. I made a profit. That's what matters. I don't want to question it. I don't want to see small boxes in that box's DLC. All right, anyway, so moving on. With that all said and done, with the very next week, I also bought 50 of these as well, which evidently wasn't a very good idea because, unfortunately, that went down in price. Now, during certain instances, it was going up very nicely. At one point, selling for about $4.50. And it slowly goes down. Again, boxes DLC, doing us no favours whatsoever. Yeah. Bought 50 of them because, you know, I was riding the wave of momentum, the hype. It was getting ridiculous. Firearms, the Sinotype firearms, like instantly went up to $7 when this appeared. And then after that, it kept like casually rising up more and more and more. So, yeah, 50 of them, just to confirm. Yes, I did buy a bunch. And then, well, I mean, like, I feel like we've said more than enough in regard to the collection and whatnot. So I'm going to move on. And then we saw a very interesting AK-47. Now, if you don't understand the story behind the After Death AK-47, well, let me just quickly hop over to my YouTube. If you were to search on YouTube, After Death AK-47, you'll most likely see a video from me. There you go, at the very top. After Death, the rarest AK-47, question mark. I will reiterate once more, it's not the rarest skin. It's not the rarest AK. There are other skins that are rarer, and we talk about that in that very video. And yet, you know, after that discussion, talking about whether it's the rarest or not, questioning if 1,700 subscribers is little or not, it still worked out quite all right. Although it was better to sell it initially. So right now it's $113, but if you go back to the past and look at how people are reacting to it initially, right? Initially, you'll see for yourself it actually at one point it was selling for about $350, and it starts to go down and down. Kind of perks up a little bit, and it goes down, 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 down. Around November, December time, it sits here at about $50. Yet right now, as you can see, it's sitting here at just over $100, about $110. Huh. Well, it was purely coincidental, and what was actually happening around this period of time was I bought one of every single skin here to do a very special giveaway. Now, the person who won this very graciously, he said, you can go ahead and sell this, and we can do a different giveaway of that. Thank you once again, Mr. Glassolio. I actually had one of these, and I basically traded it for a bunch of high-quality crates. So I got about like $100 worth, I got like $100 worth of high-quality crates. I was happy with that, and I will be opening them fairly soon. So basically, yeah, that would have been a wonderful investment, but technically it wasn't really an investment. The only reason why I have it on the list was because I just wanted to talk about it. It's in appendices. Again, it wasn't really there for an investment. I just wanted to point out I had it, so you know. Did you buy one yourself? Did you buy multiples? Did you sell them? Did you enjoy the profit? Feel free to comment below. So, we're only up to August now. Hedge, you've been yapping for about an hour and 20 minutes. I like yapping. Deal with it. I've got to go through all of this and talk about all the things that I bought, and I've got to chapter them. Oh. Right, anyway, moving on. We're now in August. And as you might notice here, we have hoodie and pants. Now, Island Assault hoodie and pants, you will see that they did 28,000 subscribers. In comparison to the other skins here, that looked like it was doomed. Because they have sold like an extra 7,000 in comparison to the tier 3, the boots and the gloves. You get the idea. But the very next roster, what do we see? Oh, look, Island Assault tier 2. So, during this this period of time, right? During this period of time, I'm quite happy with myself. I grabbed that AK-47. It was pretty pricey. I thought to myself, yep, we're going to have a fun time. Grabbing a whole lot of high-quality crates to give away in the future, which would spare me because, of course, I'm always doing giveaways on streams. I have too many skins. It would save the budget for the giveaways. Anyway, Island Assault Tier 2. That appears literally the very next store. The hoodie and pants, they spike them on spike price ever so nice. But I didn't buy hoodie and pants. No. I bought Tier 2 armor. More specifically, I bought how many Island Assault kilts? Let's just remind myself. Because I was very much under the impression that Island Assault collection was going to flourish. It was a perfectly fine looking design, the cool gadgets and whatnot. It was our grey out set. Some people even considered it to be a nice white camouflage. It's not. Anyway, I looked at that and I thought, you know what? That might be selling ridiculous amounts, but with the interest this collection has, surely it'll work out a-okay. Yeah, Tier 2 crashed and burned for a while. So let's just quickly showcase this to you. So I bought 200, and as time went on with barders, I bought even more. Scroll. You'll see for yourself, this was really, really bad at one point. So around October time, this is sitting here selling for about 70 cents USD. But as of recent, it has been doing better. So as of recent, before we had this individual list 358 of them, this was actually perfectly in the positive, and it was selling for about $1.70 at one point. I actually managed to go ahead and sell a decent amount of them about a good 2-3 weeks ago. Again, that would have been the ones I had with bilders, because as you can go over to here and see for yourself that I do still have a lot of Island Assault kilts. Over 200 to be precise. Yes, I have a lot of them. Yes, and pants apparently. Okay, didn't know about that. Anyway, so am I upset? Initially I was, but I was like, you know what, let's just wait it out until post-Christmas. Post-Christmas, it goes over its rush store price. Cool. Now, as time goes on, so as long as this set remains in demand, this will still work out very nicely. If we ever do see the Island Assault the Island Assault jacket. You never know. I'll complete the sets in the future. We shall see. For some strange reason, they just don't want it. And I don't know why they don't want it. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, looks cool, looks nice. If we see that being accepted, I do believe the tier 2 will be spiking the price ever so nice. More specifically, that kilt. I need it. So, right, cool. So, there's a lot of optimism that could happen. Can it hurry up? So, yeah, I'm not upset. I could see the writing on the wall. I felt like with the hype it had, surely it will stick around. Luckily, it did. It honestly did look like things would probably get a lot worse. I had so many people messaging me saying, Hedge, it's doomed. I was like, I know. Can we just wait it out a little bit longer? Lo and behold, it did recover. Good to see. Were you one of those people that kept telling me the Island Assault tier 2 and the other skins were going down in price? Did you hold and did you sell around now? Because if you did, props to you. But it looks like I might have to hold out for a little bit longer. As I said, one very smart individual decided to go ahead and list over 300. Gotta love other people. So, yeah, tier 2 wasn't exactly very nice for a while. By the way, I also went ahead and bought a bunch of these porcelain boots. Porcelain collection. Fairly in demand, more specifically the deplorables. But we never got a complete set. We never got the hoodie and pants. But we did eventually get the boots. So this was the beginning of like the wave of seeing a pair of boots to help complete a set over the course of the summer. This happened a lot. In this particular instance, this sold quite a bit less compared to the rest of the skins, but it was an incomplete collection. No hoodie and pants. So I thought, it'll be alright, right? It should be okay. For quite a long time, this was actually not doing very well. So as you can see here, it's sitting here just over $1, and as you'll notice, as we scroll down, it hasn't really been changing that much, and at its lowest, it was actually around 60 cents USD. Only recently does it improve. So, I mean, hey, I could sell them now, but I wouldn't make a profit. But do I feel the need to sell them now? No, I can wait it out. I can hope to see if it improves in the future. Is hoping. I did ask the skin creator, hey, would you consider doing hoodie and pants again? He said, oh, yeah, I could give it a shot. He didn't do it. Thanks, Vase. So, yeah, that actually was okay. I won't cry about it. Right then, so we move on. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Here we go. Right, so with the next batch of skins, we take a look over to here, and what do we see? Well, we see some interesting skins, but I didn't buy anything from here. Moving on. Sinotype tools. I thought the tools would be more interesting. I thought with the amount of sales and whatnot, surely that could be alright, right? No, this went down to like $1. Like this is the one that sold like the most, I believe, or at least the joint most, second most, whatever. This has not been very pretty. We just had a big discussion about Sinotype. If you're watching this in the video and you skip to here, like scroll back a bit, look at the chapters. I mean, oh dear. So, you know, not the best. Okay, yeah. Moving on. Complete the sets. Oh wow, but I do warn people. With complete the set skins, some of these collections very likely will not be getting another skin accepted, and that did happen a lot in most of the cases here. But I looked at that Legacy Kevlar jacket, and I knew for a fact, looking at all the other jackets we've seen as of recent, especially during the summertime, with it being August now, a lot of those black jackets of the past have actually risen up in price very, very nicely. Even right now, you will acknowledge. Okay, cool. Understood. We get that. So, I'm looking at the Legacy Kevlar jacket. I'm comparing it with the other Legacy Kevlar clothing armor skins, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, you've actually sold the least. Surely you'll be alright. Well, initially it does suffer, which is unfortunate. But then again, most skins that go through September, October, November, well, they're going to suffer, aren't they? So let it be known, in the future, when we have a very interesting skin appear around August time, this is very likely going to be the outcome. Struggles initially, rises all the way up over to here. So if you've also seen my very special isolated account that only started off with $100, I even bought 5 Legacy Kevlar jackets in that account. Just because I was that confident with it. Yeah, initially it did suffer, but it didn't suffer eventually, did it? Because of course it rose up ever so nicely. So now we hop over to here. Do I have any jackets left? No, it looks like I've sold them. Actually, I think I had like 20 left. I believe I traded them over to another account to sell them there. Because, well, of course, as you can see, it's been rising up ever so nicely. And right now, it sits here at about $3.50. It worked out lovely. So, that was cool. That was nice. And that's the very first Rust Star. Let's go over to here. Sorry. Sorry. So, yeah, things were pretty sweet. Things were pretty interesting. But what I also looked at with these skins, the Oasis Sheet Metal Double Door. A very interesting glow-in-the-dark design. It did not sell that much. Now, back then, I looked at its collection and I noticed it wasn't very in demand. But that Sheet Metal Double Door, that was looking pretty sweet. That was looking pretty cool. That was looking very, very nice. So I kind of questioned it and thought, you know what, maybe that actually could work out quite all right as time goes on. To my surprise, this was actually a collection that did get a collection continuation fairly soon after this. And then as time went on, I'll look another one. That went all the way up to $3.30 from $2. That did turn out to be a very nice investment. And on my Hellpower account, the one with the $100 limit, I bought 3 on there. I was very happy with the results. So, back over to here, yeah. I bought some pretty cool looking skins. But then, as I can remember, I also bought 20 camouflage jackets, 20 Space Raider Roadsign gloves and boots. So, let's go ahead and look at those. Because with these boots and gloves, they sold significantly less compared to the rest of their set. Back in 2021, the Space Raider hoodie and pants did about 26,000 subscribers each. Tier 2, well, that did about 19,000 subscribers each. And the Tier 3, about 17,000 subscribers each. Now, before these appeared, these were in the negative. They weren't doing very well. These appear, suddenly spark them on, spark a price, everything works out all right. But these sold a lot less. 8,600, 8,200. These sold significantly less compared to the rest of the skins. I sat here and said, so as long as this remains fairly in demand, those boots and gloves will be appreciated and they will work out very nicely. Boom. Yes, they did. Lovely. So, has the profits been insane? Well, they're both sold for 99 cents each, and right now they're like $1.40 and $1.70. So in theory, you might say, well, that doesn't really sound that much. Not really, but profit's profit, and I'm happy with profit. It's just a struggle trying to get some sales, it seems. Oh dear. So, alright, cool. Understood. So if I go back over to here, look at Space Raider. You will see I still have a bunch of Space Raider, lots of gloves, even more so than what I bought, and I still got 20 boots. I'm not desperate to sell. I can hold on to them for a little bit longer, but they did work out nicely. I am happy with that. Right. Now we move over to September time. Let's go over to here, because it might be the next Rust store where we see some of those skins. Alright, so what am I looking at? Did I buy anything from this Rust store? I'm remembering. I don't think so. So let's switch over to the very first Rust store. The very first Rust store for September 2025. And I'm looking, and I see some interesting looking wooden double door skins right here. So, oh, wrong one. Sorry about that. Over to here, I see the Celestial Harmony wooden double door, and I think to myself, well, we did see the wooden double door being the focused item of the month for a month, but this sold only 7,000. Only 7,000 subscribers. 7,000 bare minimum sales. And I honestly thought with its design, it was going to work out very, very nicely. Lo and behold, that didn't happen. We still saw more wooden double door skins being accepted after this. I thought it would be over. I thought it would be done, but no. And when we saw that extra wooden double door skin being accepted, which you can see, it was the Pixel wooden double door where I noticed this problem. Well, it just kind of ruined it. Suddenly everybody felt the need to sell, and it just went down real bad. Because before we saw that Pixel wooden double door, this was on the Steam market holding up very nicely. People were hopeful for a collection continuation. We did see attempts. We didn't see acceptances. So yeah, at one point, $4 plus. After that, down, 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 down. Now it's starting to pick itself back up as of now, but that might take some time. So unfortunately, that turned out pretty badly. I hope for improvement. I hope for an actual collection continuation, but yeah, not looking good. Not looking good. Oh dear. Right, September 11. Do we see anything over to here? Well, hold on a second. What do we see right here? With that particular Rust store, I noticed an interesting fuel box. I thought to myself, well, hang on a minute. Is this the beginning of a small box collection? Yes, it was. Mr. McWemp, he attempted to do a pretty cool looking small box collection. The small props collection is what it was referred to as. That was looking interesting. We asked, hey, you're going to try and do a collection? He thought, yeah, why not? He made a diesel box over the course of the weekend. We considered buy orders. I considered purchases. I bought 30 of them. We see the diesel box being accepted. And after that, we see a meds box, a cards box, a diving box, a tea box, an ammo box, and a sulfur box. However, around the period of time where we first see mentions of the boxes DLC, suddenly this stops. This leads me to believe that the boxes DLC might actually be small boxes. So we'll see what becomes of that, but that's not looking very pretty now, is it? No, no. Unfortunately, with it randomly stopping, yeah, it's not looking good, unfortunately. It's not looking pretty. It's looking quite troublesome. So here's hoping we do see improvement, but yeah. Because again, look at the very next Rust store. Boom, diesel box. Initially, that fuel box sells very nicely. But it didn't last. Anyway, we also happen to have the Sinotype armor box. Now, this actually wasn't selling that much. In the past, with other storage collections, I've seen the armor box sell quite nicely. I've seen it retain its value quite nicely. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, we've just done the buy orders. It's looking like it's going to hold on strong. I thought it might be all right. For quite some time it was, but, you know, with the dread of the boxes DLC, seems that's starting to seep in and it looks like it's just going down, 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 down. At the very end of December, you could have sold this for evens, but, yeah, the dread, the worry. Yeah, we've talked a lot about Sinotype, haven't we? Yes, indeed we have. Next, we have... Ooh, what do we have to talk about, Hedge? What's wrong? Oh. That strange temple collection with the interesting looking deplorables. Suddenly, the skin creator decides to make some tier 3. Oh, look, it's accepted. Oh, wow, it's green tier 3. Oh, yeah, we've got a nice budget camouflage option. And people were so happy it wasn't the glow-in-the-dark chest plate with the eyes. Anyway, so... $2 a piece, 27,000 subscribers was actually going to work out very nicely. Well, yes, it did. The second we saw this, we started showcasing like budget green camouflage options. We just kept showcasing, like, there's so many things you could do, especially when you compare it with Forest Raiders. Because, like, Forest Raiders is absolutely ridiculously expensive. Even back then, just the tier 3, I mean, you're looking at spending about $50. Instead, for $4, you could buy Temple Tier 3. Honestly, you could have just paired it up with, like, Forest Collection, spare yourself about spending, like, $50. This is ridiculously expensive at the moment. And even to this day, people are still looking for, like, nice budget options for green clothing and whatnot. So, were there attempts for some collection continuations? Yes. Were they accepted? No. We'll see what happens. Perhaps that was just a one-off, but we still need like a new like green kilt. We can use the flashbacks hoodie and pants. We can live with that. It's not too pricey, right? But yeah, there were attempts for hoodie and pants tier 2. It hasn't happened. And yet regardless, it has been a-okay. So initially it looked a little bit odd. People not really sure how it's going to go. But again, the need, the yearning for cheap green camouflage, people be buying. So that's been going up in price slowly, but quite nicely. Doesn't look like it's going to stop. And as time goes on, I do believe that I'll just keep slowly trending upwards, little by bit, little by little, bit by bit. Good job, Hedge. You completely fumbled that. But anyway, I also want to quickly showcase to you, Hedge, have you sold yours? Nope. I also picked up quite a lot more with buy orders. So, you know, looking forward to seeing that working out even better. I'm happy for it. You never know, if we see tier 2 or hoodie and pants being accepted, yeah, that might skyrocket. So, alright, cool. You worked out wonderfully. But was there anything else to discuss for this month? I do believe... No. No. So, alright, cool. Let's now skip over to October time. We have a Thundergold backpack to talk about. So, around this period of time, I do believe we started to see like a bunch of white backpacks. H-June backpack, where are you? Yeah, so H-June backpack, you were introduced like what? Let's see here. So this is September, correct? No, it's October. So back in September, a month before, we see the H-June backpack. It's got an interesting bit of transparency in the front. So like you don't see like the actual straps. And it's like a perfectly fine white design. So people got that for absolutely free. But then a month later, we see Thundergold. Now I'm looking at Thundergold and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Again, this is a perfectly fine, lovely looking white backpack. And if you're wearing like full whiteout, full Thundergold, whatever you might be wearing that's white in the snow biome, If you're going to use a backpack and you missed out on getting the H-Stream backpack, that is the backpack to chase after. So I was optimistic, and I thought, you know what? After doing the barders, I jumped in, I bought 50 of them. Now, I did pick up a decent amount of them with barders, and I can confirm to you, I have been selling some recently, because that has pushed all the way up to $4. That did work out very nicely. But initially, there were some worries. But then December happens. Thundergold has been appreciated, along with all the other Thundergold weapons and clothing and armor and whatnot. With those hoodie and pants, face punch. Anyway, it's being respected. It's being appreciated. Skin creators happy. Anyway, so that worked out wonderfully. That's a lovely bit of profit. And recently, I did sell a decent amount, but I have not yet touched trying to sell my 50 stack. I've sold a decent amount over the past week or so. Did you buy any? Feel free to comment below. Are you happy with the result? Did you sell any? I should have been saying that a lot more throughout this recording. Did you sell any? We could say that at the very end. What did you buy over the past year? What did you enjoy the profit? Were you happy? Yeah, we got that. Right then, so we're going to move on. Well, I've got to move on because I've been going on for quite a long time with this. November, or rather, the very end of October. What? Again, because I wait till the very end of the 7-day 10 year and it rolled over into November time. Oh, okay. What did you buy? Hammer from hell. Right. So, at the very beginning, we talked about how hammers tend to be very nice and reliable. Well, glow-in-the-dark hammers are quite rare. Glow-in-the-dark hammers that are marketable, even rarer. And we have the hammer from hell. There's a lot of interesting Halloween designs being produced for Halloween. Hammer designs. Well, you get the idea. Lots of hammers. This was the one that won. From Hell collection is quite a large, extensive collection. We've had quite a lot of skins. Not all of them worked out perfectly. But hammers are reliable. And I looked at it. I thought about it. I questioned it. I did some strong barders. It looked like it was going to retain. Hedge bought 50. Hedge is happy. So, yep, as you'll see over here, and I haven't sold any yet, so let's just quickly go over here to show this as well. I still have hammers. I bought more with buy orders. And as you can see right over here, 79 listed, 63 sold in the past 24 hours. It has been going up, and it has stayed strong. Is it still trending upwards? Slightly. Is it going to actually continue to keep going up? Hopefully. But just want to point out, yes, it did turn into a very nice investment. It is sitting there at $3.50. What's that in terms of percentage up? 70. It says right there, Hedge. Sorry. Up 70%. I'm a happy bunny. But if I hold on to it for a bit longer, I'm sure it'll keep going up. Hopefully. Right, so happy there, and I have not yet sold, so I'm optimistic it can only do better. Right then, so that's all cool, but what about next? What else do you see, Hedge? Did you buy anything else from that batch? Well, I also bought mummy wraps. Mummy wraps are an item that get brought back every single year for Halloween, and, well, my expectation is every summertime they go up in price ever so nicely. But Hedge, it's October. Yeah, I'll buy them, and I'll sit and I'll wait. So, as of recent, with post-Christmas, it's been rising up quite nicely. But just look at what we've seen in the past. It rises up, and it rises up to a very nice high point, usually around August time. August 2024, around $11. August 2025, around $11. This year, well, hopefully it goes up even higher. So right now, it's sitting here at just about $8. Looking pretty sweet. I am optimistic it will be doing the exact same thing. I honestly wanted to buy more. But October time was awful. Prices were going down. It was not looking pretty. If you can remember how bad it was, feel free to comment below. And did you buy anything? Did you buy any Halloween skin? Feel free to comment below. So as of now, got to wait a little bit longer just to see the results that we want to see. So we start going through November, and I'm pretty sure I did buy a bunch of you, so let's just quickly go through here. So, did I buy any tea boxes? Yes, I did. I bought 20 tea boxes because I thought, you know what? The only other tea storage we've ever seen is a large box, and at that specific time, it was $5. $5. So I thought, surely that'll be all right. That's another small prop skin, so it did suffer, but right now, it's retaining. It's not profitable, but give it time, I do believe that will be appreciated. And over to here with this other storage, well, Sinotype wood. I looked at all the other wood storages of the past, so you just go over to here. You remember that all these previous storage collections, all these large boxes, they sold for $2.49 as well. And I remember back then, this was comfortably in the positive, this was comfortably in the positive, you were perfectly in the positive. So surely, surely Sinotype would be a-okay. I bought 20. Can confirm it's comfortably in the positive, but it's also starting to suffer as well, like a lot of the other Sinotypes. With a lack of not being aware or knowing what this proposed Boxes DLC is going to be, it's not helping anybody. It's only making people paranoid. So, you know, oh dear. So, yeah, not the best, but still profitable. So, you know, we're happy with that. But I don't want to sell mine. I'm actually holding on to them. I'm going to risk it with some Sinotype skins. I want to see what this Boxes DLC is. And if it's what we're expecting, the worst, oh god. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, moving on. So moving on from there, we also happen to have... Oh, yes. I'm very happy to talk about this. So a little bit earlier, we're talking about the Heatseeker Revolver. We're talking about how wonderful that was. Oh, look at that. The Olympus Revolver appears. So Heatseeker Revolver suddenly drops down in price pretty dramatically. Why, you ask? Because it has transparency like that. Okay. Well then. Yeah, a lot of people bought it. So this actually sold significantly more compared to the previous, the Heatseeker Revolver. Remember, that did about 21,600. This did almost 39,000 subscribers. And it's immediately gone up in price. That was phenomenal. That was perfect. That did a-okay. And it annoys me because I had no funds. I had no money. I had to sell a bunch of things real quickly just so I could try and get 100 of them. And it annoys me knowing that I knew it was going to do good, and I'm upset. I just want to move on. But yeah, that's just been slowly doing a little bit better every day. So it took a while to kick into gear, then it dips a bit and goes back up again. So yeah, that is doing a-okay. And I still am annoyed that I didn't buy more. But I also wanted to buy some other things as well from the store. So as we go down over to here, I'd just like to point out Popstar Bed. Yes. The joke was it was a waifu bed. Very colourful, glows in the dark, but anime style. So we had to go buy a bunch of them. Yep. We did the barders. It was looking good. I bought 50. I am not complaining. Now, it was better. So let's just go to here. A good week, about a week. It was actually a hard price. It's comfortably above $4. It was looking good. Right now, it's still looking good. It's still profitable. Only 31 listings, 16 sold in the past 24 hours. This is one of the few beds that's actually in the positive. I hope it remains that way in the future. I didn't want to sell now. I wanted to hold out at least until the summer of 2026. So we're starting to get to this point now where we're ending the year and I still haven't sold some of these skins because I don't want to. So yeah, they're too recent. I don't want to sell them yet. I want to hold them for a little bit longer because I can't help but assume maybe they will be working out nicely in the future. Blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Cool. So, Popstar Bed, you're doing good. What about Reptile Hunter Large Backpack? I was looking at this. A brand new Reptile Hunter skin appears, and it hasn't sold that much, and it blends in perfectly with the rest of the set. Huh. So you've sold less than 10,000 subscribers. Then again, it did cost $3. But there's also the question of the default large backpack that isn't skinned is dark green already. Do people actually want to buy a dark green set backpack? Apparently, yes, because it's almost doubled in price. Yep. So I looked at that. I looked at it, I questioned it. I thought, you know what? Surely that can actually work out quite all right. I only bought 15. Again, I just didn't have any funds to work with. So about 15 of them, and well, it actually worked out quite all right. Instantly went up in price. Did I sell any? No, I haven't sold any yet. I don't want to. I want to hold on to it for a bit longer. I can't help but assume it's going to rise up in price like the rest of Reptile Hunter and end up at a much better price. Here's hoping. Right, so cool. And one thing I didn't talk about, Sinotype drop box, probably the most requested Sinotype box to be made. I looked at it and I thought, you know what? All right, yeah, I'll go buy some. Not tons, I just bought 20. And as of now, it's in the positive. As of now, I could sell and get my funds back. It's only up by 15%. So, did you initially go up higher? I can't confirm. It does appear to have been higher. But it doesn't last. It starts to trend downwards. Again, the dread of Boxes DLC still looms over our heads, and we're still questioning everything. So, you know, I'm not sure what to think. And I still haven't sold mine either. Just want to sit in it and wait and just see how everything pans out. So I do believe that's everything in regards to November. Now we delve into December. We're almost finished. So, Blackout Handmade LMG. The first transparent aim sight we see on a handmade LMG. Also, it's a Blackout weapon. Typically of Blackout skins and, well, Blackout weapons, they actually tend to go up in price regardless. So look at all that green. Look at all that positivity. And I thought, especially considering it was the first ever transparent aim sight, even though I still expected to see more transparent aim sights in the future, I thought it was special. I thought it would actually work out quite nicely. Well, it's retained its value, and it's done quite nicely, based on expectation, but it's still gone down. It's down by 10%. Like, initially, it was doing good, but it's, it's been better. The hype we had initially was looking pretty okay, but it didn't last, and maybe as time goes on, especially as we get closer and closer to around March and April time, where we tend to have the Easter dip, I'm a little bit worried, and I'm expecting it to potentially suffer a fair bit. So, not pretty, not good. Ooh. So, yeah. Here's hoping you do recover eventually. I've seen some other weapon skins that have come out for this that didn't initially, immediately go up in price, but they gradually do get there eventually, so I'll keep an eye out for you. I'm sure you will be appreciated. But looking at all these other skins, I should also point out, I went and bought 30 Cell Roadsign gloves. In terms of budget green options, we don't actually have that many green Roadsign gloves. We've got Forest Raiders, you've got 10 Karma, and both of them were a lot more pricier compared to a $1 skin. So I could just quickly showcase that Roadsign gloves, because unfortunately SMM has them split apart in two separate options. So if I go to here, come on, load. Please, there you go. As you'll see, it's literally just, where are you? There you go. 10 Karma gloves, which at the time were around $6, and scroll. Forest Raiders gloves, which were around $50 back then. Something like that, like 40, 50, you get the idea. Expensive. So I looked at that and I thought, okay, I can foresee a nice future with you, especially considering, the Kilt was already up in price. Coffee can was already, in the positive. So yeah, I could imagine that'll be something that people want in the future. So yeah, bought 30. Could have bought more, sure. It's only up by about 40% at the moment, but I'm more than happy with that. Again, it's instantly gone up in the positive. Here's hoping it continues that way. 28 listings, only 8 sales in the past 24 hours. We'll see if things improve. And yes, I did showcase that in my budget camouflage video. So, yeah, cool. Next. Well, yes, I can see Heatseeker Sap. So, with these weeks in December, something went a little bit awry. Unfortunately, we did not have the naval update. So, Face Punch just turned around and did some more complete the sets rustores. I looked at that Heatseeker Sap. It sold a decent amount. But looking at all the other saps we've seen in the past, we've only ever had one that had a transparent aim sight, and it didn't really do very well. Now, of course, we have had some ones way back when, a long time ago, which actually sold. I can't. Where's the thing I'm looking for? What's the one with the transparency, quite literally, as if it looks like it's floating? I can't remember what it is. And I actually asked my server earlier. Oh, direct threat sap. There you go. Glow in the dark aim sight, a floating aim sight, $70. So I know we had the special DLC earlier in the year as well, the aircraft pilot, the hazmat suit one, the pilot hazmat with its pack. You get the M15 pistol with that, a very interesting skin with a glow in the dark aim sight, but it doesn't have any transparency. I thought maybe only that was the thing that might potentially be some issues with this, but again, this is a Heatseeker skin. Heatseeker skins are beloved. Surely it would just do alright, right? Yeah, it did. Sold for $3, pushed up to $4. Now, I have sold just a few. I picked up quite a lot of these with a barter because initially it actually went down quite a fair bit. Sold for $3. At its worst, it went down to $2.50. I was kind of expecting that, but recently I needed to just quickly sell some things to get some funds. I have sold a few. I'm not upset with that. I do plan to sell, hold on to the ones I bought though. Let's just quickly go up to here because, of course, if I type in Heatseeker, you see everything. Yeah, I picked up a lot with barters. But if we could just switch over to here, you will see the stack of 30 that I bought directly from the rust store. So those are different, but still, I sold some. There's still profit. I was happy. I'll still keep a bunch of these. I expect it to improve quite nicely as we go through the summer of 2026. So, okay. That was cool. That was nice. Not going to complain in regards to what we see here. Did I buy anything else, though? I don't remember. Hedge was like a month or so ago. I know. I know. Anyway, so back over to here. I did buy 10 of the Neon Storage small cards boxes. This has been hoped for and begged for a very long time. Like, I remember the first instance of this back in, what, like 2021? Yep. After about 4.5 years, finally it's accepted. I random complete the sets rush store. As of now, it's retaining its value. It's not profitable, but then again, I bought it like a month ago. All right. I haven't sold any. I'm still holding on to them, and I want to hold on to them. All right. We have a sheet metal double door to look forward to as well. Where are you? Porcelain sheet metal double door. It's a bit odd because we recently saw a naval-themed porcelain sheet metal double door being produced as well, and we're kind of expecting it to potentially be accepted as well. Is it going to be naval porcelain sheet metal double door? We'll see. But anyway, this had been waiting on the workshop for quite some time, and finally it's accepted. And it's a piece of art produced by Mr. Vase, the man behind many interesting skins such as, well, the Respawn Allegory Fresco rug, for example. Yes, yes, yes. I looked at that and I thought, yep, that's a work of art. I've got to go buy 30 of them. I did that. I picked up a few of some buy orders. It's now pushed up to $4, but I'm not selling. I'm holding on to it for a bit longer. If we do see that naval-themed sheet metal double door as well, can't help but assume this sheet metal double door might rise up in price a bit. You might sit there and say, but hang on a minute, wouldn't that cause problems? They'll be compete with each other. No, they'll be brothers. I'll use both. Yes. All right, cool. So that's something to be optimistic about. And then I do believe, I think we are reaching the very end, because there's a certain thing that I forgot to add to this, and it's a nice thing to wrap it up with. But whilst we're here, I should also point out Pirate Bed sold hardly anything. And for an in-demand collection that's still getting skins accepted and it's still holding up and working out very nicely, I thought that's just far too little. I went and bought only 20 because I wasn't like exactly sure everything was going to be perfectly fine. Well, let me tell you, I am tempted to sell. Why are you tempted to sell? It's sitting here at $6. What? How did that happen? We're getting very close to the naval update, and a lot of pirate-themed skins are being bought out. Now, I have questioned, do people actually want to buy the pirate collection skins, the clothing and armor, for example? It's not like an actual pirate-themed thematic sort of design. It's just like a pirate flag draped all over it. But with the deplorables, that works perfectly. $6.70. I've got to say, I might be listing them now because I haven't been keeping track of this price. Yep. Yep, can confirm I do have pirate skins. And I guess if we wait till February with the naval update, force wipe update, February update, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe I might consider selling some of my clothing armor. It's already gone up in price recently, but I'm kind of hoping that it goes up even further beyond. We'll see. Anyway, I am tempted now. I am tempted. I could sell 5 and pay it all off. Yeah, that's that good. So, that's pretty much a wrap with everything I wrote down. But like I said, I forgot to write this down. For the very last skin that I'm going to discuss, Gingerbread sheet metal double door. So I looked at this. I've got videos showcasing it already. I've got the short videos out. You get the idea. This is phenomenal. The windows of transparency we have, it is absolutely ridiculous. And there's a reason why I bought 200 of them. We don't tend to see that many transparent like vision sort of doors with glow in the dark. Yes, it's a Christmas themed skin. Yes, it's basically sweets, candy, gingerbread. You get the idea. But the pay to win aspect of it is just far too good. The only awkward thing we saw was the fact that just a while later, of course, quite recently for us, we did see the Juggernaut sheet metal double door come out. But I looked at both of them and I thought to myself, I feel like this is more aesthetically pleasing. And also, when you stand up to next to both of them, there's more vision here compared to that. That has the benefit of having like a little grill at the bottom left of it that you can see upwards and downwards through. You don't have that with this, but still, you have so much vision with the windows. They're that good. So I was like, I have to jump onto this. But you're correct, Amos. You're correct. We've had some Twitch drops before. We've had the Bombshell sheet metal double door. And that was the very first thing that I got to compare with. Because there's a certain detail that we forgot to mention with that sheet metal double door. Yeah, it's $11. What? Yes. This has been on the Steam market for a good year and a half. It's about 2 years, really. It's been a while. Based on that specific time. It was sitting there at $12 when I first looked at the Gingerbread sheet metal double door. And guess what? Gingerbread Sheep Labrador has more vision compared to this. Huh. So, it's got two good things going for it. It's a very pay-to-win door, and it's a Christmas skin. You might sit there and say, but Hedge, it's a Christmas skin. Surely it's going to go down a price like all of these ones have. No, because it's too pay-to-win. And in anticipation to next year's Christmas, I'm looking forward to finding out how crazy that can get. And I'm very happy to say that's the last investment for the year, because that very likely will be a phenomenal profit next year. Pending we don't see more transparent sheet metal doors with glow in the dark. I have seen one for Valentine's. Oh no. And let's hope we don't see it for Lunar New Year. Easter. Halloween. Anyway, so again, rare sight to see. I don't expect to see that much more of them. I am aware we've had Twitch drops. So, last year we had the Kelly Rust door. Still, the vision of that, much better. I remember quite some time back we had the Bellum one. Doesn't matter. Gingerbread's better than that. You'll say, oh, what about Bombshell? It's got more vision and it's much cheaper compared to Bombshell. So will anything like it compete with it? We will see. Again, that still retains its price when this appeared. Surely that can only go up. We shall see. 2 hours. Ugh. You know what? I might have to edit in a special warning at the very beginning saying, all right, guys, this is going to go on for a very long time. I'm going to add some chapters. If you just want to skip ahead, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm going to need to do that. And to render all of that's going to take forever. But hey, I thought I should do it. I just didn't realise it was going to take that long. You are some very dedicated people. Thank you very much for watching. Let's get that written in. So, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I could go through all the skins next year and see how much I sold them all for. No, I'm not going to do that again. But I will say, I do have a brand new list. Well, we'll see what happens next. 25 cents? Yeah. People who watch this in the future that won't know the context of that probably will be very, very confused. But, it's another long year to get through. Best of luck to all of you with potential investments. Let's hope everything works out very nicely. As of now, prices are still holding up quite nicely. It's a perfectly fine time to consider selling if you want to. You might laugh. The only thing I listed that I actually sold with a recording was the Heatseeker SAR. Well, I mean, yeah. Probably would have been a whole lot more appropriate. But then again, actually showcasing the timeline with the sales and, how high they went and whatnot, I thought that was better. So, yep, that's a wrap. Let's see how all of these skins turn out in the future. We've got a pretty interesting batch of skins. With that selling like 10,000 extra because it sold for 25 cents for 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Awesome looking garage door here. Pirate tactical gloves. Ooh. Another black backpack. Transparent aim sight. MP5. Purple haze furnace. What? Right, deep ruby furnace. Right. Another Ultramarine deplorable, and it's not selling that much. Got to keep an eye on that Ultramarine collection. I'm telling you, keep an eye on it. Some very interesting looking skins in this Rust store, and the ones we've seen with the previous Rust stores so far. So, are you going to start keeping track of all the things you bought? Are you going to review yourself and see all the things you sold? Overall, most of the things I bought this past year in 2025 did turn out to be a very nice profit. In instances where it didn't turn out very nicely, in most cases it wasn't that bad. And if we were to do the review back in October time, the vast majority of things would have been a loss. There's a reason why I wait till now. Right, so that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to each and every single one of you throughout all of 2026. I'm so sorry the video went on long.